to get into some real life situations. Number 6, at a book fair, a tote bag costs $5 and books cost $3.50 each. You spend a total of $19 before taxes. How many books did you buy in addition to the tote bags? All right, number 1, if you don't want to write an equation and solve it that way, you can figure out however you want as long as you show your work. I am going to write an equation because I find that most useful. So it says how many books, so I'm going to let B equal the number of books. All right, and I notice that books are $3.50 each, so I'm going to, when I write my equation, I will multiply $3.50 by the B. So the tote bag costs $5, and then I'm going to add $3.50 every time I add a book, and I know the total was $19. Okay, and now here I can now solve for B, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'll get 350B equals 14, and then to solve for B, we'll divide both sides by 350. Let me type that in my calculator. We got 14 divided by 3.5, and that gives me 4. So B equals 4. So when it says how many books, I bought 4 books. And again, you don't have to write an equation, but show your work a different way if you got it somehow else. Right, number 7, the function C equals 15 plus 9H represents the amount C in dollars it will cost you for a one-time lawn care service for H hours. How many hours would the lawn care service need to work for the cost to be $78? So it says how many hours. We already know that that is a variable H. They already named that. And it says the cost is $78. They already gave me an equation. I just know the cost is 78, which means I'm going to go up in the cost spot and put 78. So now if I rewrite that, I'm going to have 78 equals 15 plus 9H. I can now simply solve this for H, and I'll have my answer. So to solve this for H, I will first of all subtract 15 from both sides. That's going to give me 63 equals 9H, and then I'll divide both sides by 9. And so I'll get H equals 7, and then answering my question, how many hours would they need to work? They would need to work 7 hours. Okay, number 8, the perimeter of Summer's backyard is 620 feet. What are the dimensions of her backyard? So the dimensions are like what by what? 2 feet by 8 feet or something like that. All right, I noticed they already gave me a variable, which is nice, and they did tell me the perimeter, which remember is the distance around a figure. And they told me that the answer was 620. So I know when I'm done, my answer will equal 620. So when I add up all these sides of her backyard, the answer should equal 620. So first of all, I'm going to label the other sides. If the left side's 2x, the right side of the yard will also be 2x. And if the bottom side is 3x minus 10, the top side will also be 3x minus 10. So I know if I add all of those up, I will get an answer of 620. So I'll have 2x plus 3x minus 10 plus 2x plus 3x minus 10 will equal 620. Now on the left side, since we have 2x, 3x, and 2x, and 3x, since they're all like terms and they're on the same side, we can put them together. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So we have 10x, and then the minus 10 and the minus 10 both don't have x's, so we can put those together too. Minus 10 would be minus 20, and I'll get 620. And then from here, to get x by itself, I will add 20 to both sides. So those are gone. I'll get 10x equals 620 plus 20 is 640. And then we'll divide both sides by 10. We will get x equals 64. So x is 64, but it says what are the dimensions? So I have to actually go up here and find them. So if we have 2x, we know that x is 64. So 2 times 64 is 128. So that's one of my dimensions. So 128 feet. And then by, now I'm going to put the 64 in here. So we'll do 3 times 64, which is 192, minus 10, which is 182. So that value will be 182. So my other dimension is 182 feet, and that would be my answer for that one. Okay, number 9, solve for y. We have 4x plus 3y equals 15. All right, on these types of problems, I like to circle the 3y. So if I want to get that 3y by itself, to get rid of 4x, we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. And remember, I like to write those in one line. So the x's are gone. So we still have 3y equals 15 minus 4x. Notice I did not make that 11x because those are not like terms. And then to solve for y, we'll divide every single part by the 3. So we'll get y equals 15 divided by 3 is 5 minus 4 divided by 3 doesn't work out nice, so we'll just leave it as 4/3 x, and that will be my answer. Okay, number 10, the formula for the volume of a box is V equals LWH, where L is length, W is width, and H is height. So it says to solve the formula for H. So I'm going to rewrite it here. If you remember when we did problems like this, I always circled the variable we're solving for. And then notice since L and W are right next to H, that means multiply. So to undo multiply, we will divide. So we'll divide that side by LW, which means we also have to divide that by side by LW. So on the left side, I have V over LW. On the right side, the L and the W cancel out, so I'm just left with H. And then I usually like to switch this around, so I'll make it H equals V over LW. Okay, so I've done that part of it. The next part, it says to find the height. So we want to find H. If the volume is 64, so that would be my V. The length is 5, so that will be my L. And the width is 2, so that will be my W. So now we're going to have H equals V is 64, L is 5, W is 2. All right, so we're going to have 64 over 5 times 2 is 10. 64 divided by 10 is 6.4. And they didn't give me units, so it will just be the height will be 6.4.